Ladies and gentlemen, goblins and ghouls.
Welcome to Turn Off the Century,
The movie podcast exploring films from the turn of the millennium through the end of its first decade. I'm Robbie, and I'm joined by my fellow auteurs, Hunter and Sauce. Hang out as we revisit the spoofs, bangers, crimes, and chaos of an era we're still trying to understand. Today's movie, the 2006 classic,
A Scanner Darkly.
Why do you say it's an 18 speed when it only has 9 gears?
What?
Yeah. 6 right here, 3 at the other end of the chain. 6 plus 3 equals 9.
Our every waking moment, trapped and traced and scared. It's time to stop submitting to this tyranny. It's time to realize that we're being enslaved. Uh-oh, it's our tax dollars at work.
Gone. Flowers gone.
No, you just can't see them.
And it was in March of '74 that the CIA's Operation Chaos, which was to harass, disrupt, and keep surveillance on American dissidents. I've seen my CIA file, I've seen my FBI file. I was legally allowed to see both files. The CIA opened my mail, the FBI had a file on me. I've seen both.
Welcome to Turn Off the Century. This is not the second time we're trying this intro. This is actually the first time. And
It's the better time.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm here with the two hemispheres of my brain who are currently embroiled in battle right now, and I can't tell which one is lying and which one is telling the truth. But hey, Hunter, how's it going?
I think I'm the left, and I am definitely telling the truth.
And Sauce, how are you?
They should make a drug where only good things happen, and you get to be very cool and very smart, and everyone stays in your life.
That's called cocaine.
That's the Rhino Boner pills in the gas station. It's the same thing. I told you they're coming back. They're coming back.
They never left.
I only buy the ones with Street Fighter fan art on them.
Those ones are cool. Or I like the ones that look like
Those
rapper
boner pills are
mixtapes.
cool.
Yeah, it's called improv. You yes and, you know what I mean?
Yes, and we are watching Scanner Darkly this week.
Which is about drugs. You know?
It's about drugs. Woo. Philip K. Dick, notorious drug guy.
2006 film directed by Richard Linklater, starring Keanu Reeves, Winona Ryder, Woody Harrelson, Robert Downey Jr., Rory Cochrane, and some other guys. I don't know. That's pretty much it, though, I think.
Yeah, there's really not very many other people in the movie.
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones.
There is an Alex Jones appearance.
There's an Alex
Scares
Jones
aplenty.
side.
Which that's the second Alex Jones appearance in Richard Linklater movie, because the
I
other
think
one
it's
was
the
in
third.
Waking Life.
I think
Oh,
it's the
is
third.
he in another one?
I believe he's in Slacker. I'm not sure.
Oh,
There's quite a possibility. It's been a long time since I've seen Slacker.
but yeah, no, this movie like completely fucked my brain up in a way that has not been fucked in a while.
Which, that reminds me, Robbie, when we used to go to Comic-Con together back in the day. Were you there with me when we saw the panel with Linklater?
Yeah,
and
no,
they showed off
that's
this
what
footage?
that's what I always talk about, because I had no idea of this movie before I think this is one of the first Comic-Cons we went to. And I remember going in there and you really made it a point of like, I want to see the panel of this movie because you were such a Keanu head.
Yeah.
And you heard that he had a new movie and you're like, oh, I want to really check this out. And I remember we walked in and they just had a Philip K. Dick android sitting in a chair. And they would just ask the Philip K. Dick android questions, and then he would just had this weird AI voice talk. It was very weird. And this is like 2004? 2005, yeah.
I believe so,
yeah. So I remember that very specifically because I just remember walking in and seeing that Philip K. Dick android go, yo, what the fuck is this movie?
Who's the author? Ray Bradbury, I believe, was also at the same Comic-Con. I went to go see him, and he was definitely in the last stages of his mental decline because no matter what you asked him about, especially from a sci-fi angle, he found a way to bring it back to dinosaurs.
That's the sign of mental acuity, actually.
Yeah, that's mental strength right there.
We must return to 8
talk
years
about?
old.
Some idiot walks up to you at a Comic-Con and talks to you about some sci-fi, and you're like, excuse me, sir, we're talking about the Ankylosaurus today. That's what we're talking about.
He's like, in the future, there's going to be a movie called Jurassic World, and it's going to be the best of the Jurassic Park series.
Of the film saga. So,
Which is what we call it.
So yeah, this movie uses a really weird animation style. It's an animated movie, though I should say it's rotoscoped. It's animation over live action movie, which is why it's not just the likeness of these actors; they are actually acting in it and having their performances drawn over. To produce this really weird, like, hey, it's a drug movie. Kind of feels like I'm on drugs right now.
It's funny watching it because I remember even thinking last night when I was watching, I was like, I feel like they could have done this not animated. It would have been largely the same. But then there's certain scenes where it just, it creates such a surreal, uncanny feeling that I can't see it being made any other way.
No, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I think they expressly were like to go hand in hand in their production. Like I don't think the script was drafted with the idea that it would be made not in this style.
Right.
Yeah, doing like the scramble suits and stuff like that really works well in the animated form. I feel like if you're doing live action and then you're just kind of CG in that, it would just look a little weird.
Yeah.
It's also fun to see a lot of Austin little landmarks in rotoscoped animation.
In Anaheim, California?
Yeah, exactly. They're like wandering around. I'm like, hey, that's the old Arby's sign that used to spin. I know where that's at. They're rubbed in white.
Well, it's funny because for a long time, I just assumed they did film this movie in California because there's so many parts that just do look like California. And so
Yeah,
I just
any
always
state
assumed
with
it.
sunny
Yeah.
weather and like just endless suburban sprawl on a freeway. It's like, yeah, that's California.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we are recording this January 11th, and for the past effectively month, it's been like 79 degrees here.
It's true.
It's not that far off anymore.
And Hunter, do you have any history with this movie or anything like that?
Nothing specific. I mean, I saw it when it came out originally because I was I just started college. I think it was my second year of college. Saw it when it came out. I really hadn't explored it since then, but I did. I'm a big Linklater fan, so I pretty much anytime something came out from him, I was Johnny on the spot. I loved all the Austin references and stuff like that, and I was like I was in San Marcos at the time, so I was like right next to Austin, so it was like, ooh, I get to see all this stuff. I'm such a dork about that stuff, but yeah, it was awesome. I really enjoyed it when it came out. It was one of those movies where I think kind of what you were saying, where it sends you to a really dark place, no pun intended, but it's one of those ones I don't jump at like, oh yeah, I need to revisit that. Can't wait to rewatch A Scanner Darkly.
Right.
But I was really excited to watch it for the show because it had been a while. It's a grind. It gets at you a little bit.
Yeah, I've always also described it as Requiem for a Dream, but good and actually realistic.
That's one of the first things of a note I took when watching this is that like this feel like you can tell whoever wrote this lived in a drug house before, you know, like
Oh yeah.
just that pseudo intellectual, like pure constant stream of consciousness, like discussions they're having that you don't know who's full of shit and who isn't. It feels so accurate, especially if you've ever gone to a house to smoke weed with a drug guy, you know.
Or do drugs with a drug guy.
Or to do drugs. Look, I was being a little coy. I'm gonna. But yeah, I
all
also
our 12-year-old listeners don't do drugs or watch this movie. You'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, or do I don't care. I'm not a role model. But I also like after we went to Comic-Con, that it really did make me interested in watching the movie because, you know, yeah, we were probably it was 05, so about 19 years old.
Right.
And I remember just being so interested by the art style and the animation style, and it seemed so different than what was being made at that time. And so I remember I think I caught it in theaters when it came out at the one theater in Temecula that showed like independent or.
So I think
or
we
more
went together.
artsy movies.
Yeah, I believe we went together to see it. Yeah.
And then I
this
bought
was
the
definitely one of
DVD,
those you couldn't just go to the AMC to see A Scanner Darkly.
which is
feel
funny
like.
because the cast is such a like powerhouse acting cast.
It's so stacked even to this day, like especially to this day with Robert Downey Jr. and Winona Ryder is really popular again because of Stranger Things.
Stranger
So
Things.
it's like Keanu's
Oh,
had
yeah.
his Renaissance sense, so it's
Yeah, this was the beginning of the Downey Jr. Renaissance. Really, he was hitting all the.
Yeah,
he
because
was,
then after
Kiss
this
Kiss
is
Bang
when he
Bang,
starts getting into
this singing
like
detective
Iron Man and shit, right?
Yeah, like in a year or so after this premiered, he was announced to be Iron Man. Yeah,
It's kind
crazy to
of
think
miraculous.
about.
You look at this cast, and it's you're getting a post Matrix Keanu, you're getting a pre Iron Man Robert Downey Jr. And just like the amount of talent that's in the cast in general for such a pretty moderate, low budget movie, like just like an indie style Linklater film. It's really cool.
I think this is also when people are starting to kind of come around on Keanu actually being a good actor.
I wouldn't say at
too.
the time. I'd say at the time he was still kind of regarded as this very like wooden performing kind of guy.
But I always look back on this movie and I think like I can't believe how people thought bad of an actor they thought he was.
It's just
crazy.
he can't do a British accent. That's basically it.
I get it,
And that
man.
seems to be everybody else's like metric. I think. As to
Yeah,
whether
that's their
somebody's a
metric.
good
Oh,
actor.
can you do a British accent?
Or if you're a Tom Hardy, can you just do a funny little guy voice every time in every role? Like never speak how you normally talk. Just do a funny little guy.
I can't lie. I love his funny little guy voices. Though.
Those are
He
great.
gets me.
They
He knows how
put
to
butts
get me.
in seats.
Well, see, and I respect the actors who go the opposite, like Idris Elba, because I've been watching The Wire. So hearing him just talk like a guy from Baltimore rather than his British accent is always entertaining to me.
I like his knuckles because he's he plays him as just like a foreign African guy, which is like that makes sense. That's why he doesn't understand what's going on.
But yeah, I mean, cool movie. It's a really weird movie, but you want to kick off the plot if we can even describe what the actual plot is.
Yeah, so I'll just a little more preamble. It is based. The film's called Scanner Darkly, based off a novel same name, written by Philip K. Dick, directed by Richard Linklater, and I guess this one was really personal to him. He really wanted to get this particular movie made, and at the time, Philip K. Dick's estate was like they sold his stuff to churn out like blockbusters.
Yeah.
Total Recall was like was a blockbuster movie, as was it Minority Report, Blade Runner. These are all like just giant budget, giant high concept, where they really take like the premise from the Dick novels, implementing some of the like philosophy and
Yeah.
sci-fi critiques. This one is probably the most like straightforward. Like if you really want to understand Philip K. Dick's writing, this movie is a pretty clean adaptation of it. Like the only thing I think adjusted was that it takes place in the what to us would have been was it 2012, 2013 by the time the movie came out. But
even then, it doesn't even necessarily say, because it just says several years from now.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like that can mean anything.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, especially you look at the world of cars. Like there is all these technological advancements, but the world looks like it could easily just still be the 90s. Everybody still drives shitty cars. Everybody has little brick cell phones.
It is that thing of just like I think from the very second the movie starts, it's kind of telling you half truths and half lies. Like it doesn't know where it stands on anything. So even several years from now, it's like that could be accurate, but what is accuracy? Like accuracy
Everyone is
doesn't
full
mean
of shit at all times.
Yeah.
So we open up on this character Charles Freck, who is bugging out, to say the least. He's seeing aphids, little tiny bugs, all over himself, and he can't quite get them off. And in a very amusing montage, starts to realize that like they're not just on him; they're in his house, they're on his dog. We see all these jumps. We see it's essentially a guy who's tweaking the fuck out, like on we don't know what.
I do love when he sees him on the dog, and it's just him in the shower with the dog.
And the dog is just being very normal, like not reacting as if there were bugs on him everywhere. The dog's just like, okay, I guess we're taking a bath.
Rory does that guy is Roy Cochran, just a good little freak. He's a Linklater classic, Dazed and Confused. He was in Empire Records, not Linklater, but like he's always playing some kind of a weirdo in the '90s and the 2000s. It feels like.
Yeah, it's a good character actor. I kind of wish he was in more stuff. There's one maybe this Halloween when we start doing scary movies that he did, where he's like basically the only character in the movie, called Right at Your Door, and or Right at Your Front Door. I don't know. We'll see when we get to it, but I look forward to talking about that one with you guys
Cool.
when that comes up. But yeah, so he's and he decides to call his friend Jim Barris, played by Robert Downey Jr., who's humoring his whole psychosis, being like, yeah, like could just be bugs. Like they're sitting there paranoid. There's like the idea of a bug being planted in your house becomes a very big like plot point.
Yeah,
for the entire
if you want
rest
to call
of the movie.
it a plot point.
And he's imagining that there's actual literal bugs all over him, and then he gets talked into meeting up with Robert Downey Jr.'s character to like, well, let me study these bugs. He's according to him, this is the smartest friend he has, so he can figure this out.
Which Robert Downey Jr. His whole performance is so funny because I even wrote down like his whole pseudo intellectual shtick is just cracking me up because you can't ever tell if he's actually full of shit or not. Like he seems like he's smart, but then you don't know for sure what he's even talking about half the time.
He's so matter of fact.
I think a lot of people have had friends like that, not necessarily like Barris necessarily, but that friend where they're very knowledgeable about certain things, but you never know what things they're knowledgeable about because they sound like they're officially knowledgeable about everything.
Heard of him? Well, he's me.
Wait a second. And you also did try to call and accuse me of being in with a terrorist group recently, so.
Well,
I mean, we have the proof.
Spot
We're
the lie.
recording.
So before they meet up, we get to see them meet up for breakfast. We're introduced to what is this? Like, what kind of seminar is this? It's like this is like a bear lodge. Like, is it like an Elks Lodge?
No, so what I'm getting here is, I think those are all like city officials, and yeah, they're all city officials because they basically say that like the New Hope stuff that they already have government contracts. They have
New Path. There's
New Path. Sorry,
New Path.
Technology/pharmaceutical company called New Path that is very honorably, I guess you could say, like in an attempt to like wash their reputation. They're it's essentially showing all these city officials the parts that they contribute to this war on drugs by introducing us to Fred, who is actually Keanu Reeves in a in a grocery bag.
I imagined him the whole time in one of those green skin suits.
Yes, it's called a scramble suit, which allows Keanu Reeves to ethically do blackface.
and yellow face
and as opposed to Robert Downey Jr. unethically doing blackface. He should have had a scramble suit.
That would have made things way better.
So, I mean, like, here we're given the first expo dump. You cannot, I think, avoid it in any kind of sci-fi concept movie where they have to be like, well, let's explain where the world is at now. So, Keanu Reeves in a what is called a scrambled suit, which flashes like the features of over 1.5 million different people. And person 36's eye will be like mismatched with person 1,000,002's eye. It's constantly shifting what their appearance is, their voice. It's a suit made for maintaining anonymity. That's how deeply entrenched their undercover cops are, and he's there to kind of give them an assurance that tax dollars are at work here to protect the city. And
it's to protect the city, but also. They're the only company that is able to bypass constant surveillance
We get into that. We get into that in the following conversation. But
True. Yeah.
So I think this is just the giant. This pharmaceutical company, New Path, sponsors an anti-drug. Looks like a mix of city officials and LEO type people. And,
just people who can invest or anything,
correct,
into them.
And he's basically just starts going down the whole like the DARE program with them.
Yeah.
Designating
presents DARE.
And a part that really makes us feel like, oh, no, like you start getting that pit in your stomach, like right from this conversation, because they start labeling, instead of drug dealers, they're referred to as drug terrorists. And you're like, oh dude. Shit.
Yeah.
How there really is just a just say no. Is there really only like,
well,
aside from arresting
even
people, he makes it, he remarks, if we create no demand, there will be no market. And the demands are never to make anybody's life materially better. It's we just have to stop them from being able to get it.
Well, he even refers to the addicts, I think, or the dealers, I can't remember, as like leeches to society at one point, and it's like it's very clearly propaganda,
Yeah. I mean, times never change. We're literally going through that right now again for the 17,000th time.
And this is a movie from 2005 that was based on a book from like 1978 or something. So it's like
72. Yeah.
72. Yeah.
Regardless, though, we're starting to see the first blips in what makes Bob Arctor. So this suit Fred is actually inhabited by a man named Bob Arctor, played by Keanu Reeves, and we see that he's having a hard time. He shuts off his fake voice and talks to himself inside the suit. They generally coach him, guide him through just read the teleprompter, dude. Just put your fries in the bag to get through it. But it does send up a red flag that his cognitive abilities are maybe impaired by something, unless he's just decided to sprout a conscience. You can't really tell yet.
Yeah. This scene also is a good example of, I think, why the setting, the animated thing works for me so well is when you're in the suit, there's kind of like a darkness around him, and it's filmed almost like he's like a fisheye kind of from the front. It's strange. It's like he's in a void or something like that. I really like that a lot. The effect.
Yeah, it almost seems like
he's strange.
It seems like he's almost in his own head.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's very cool.
Which he's not even alone in.
Something about that effect is really cool.
Yeah,
and not only that, I think this scene, especially this, Keanu Reeves is a very a lot of people recognizable face. And with this animation style, I think this is the part that is supposed to design to be like, you'll know whether you're along for the ride on this, whether you buy into this, watching this animated version of a very recognizable face that really brings the performance out in him and all these characters. I could see somebody who's just not into animation or not into anything too weird and out there getting into the scene and being like, you can turn it off. I'm not doing whatever this is about, I mean, it worked for me. I watched this movie twice in the last couple of weeks now to get ready for this. And on the second time, I really found myself empathizing with somebody who, this would not be something they fuck with,
Sure. I mean, my wife doesn't really like animated movies for the most part, but she watched it with me and didn't even come up. It wasn't like, oh, is this animated? It just, she liked it. Or liked, it's a strong word. She was kind of fucked up by it by the same reasons you would be fucked up by it, not by the animation. Let's put it that way.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, the animation, I think, really adds to the surrealness of it all. It just it takes what's already a pretty surreal thing, and then it amplifies it even more so to where you're really sitting there. It really helps you question your own reality, I feel like, because everything you're watching looks like a form of reality you can recognize, but everything also looks off and weird and different. And so
how it pays off on an investment is you, Robbie, you mentioned it. We were about 18, probably 19 by the time the movie came out. And, that kind of made it inherently oh, this is cool because it's not only this animated movie but it's about drugs, And watching it as somebody who had not done drugs at all
At that point, yeah.
and now comparing it to several decades later, where I've been
Who still hasn't done drugs?
I
No one here's doing drugs.
I 100% see what they were going for with some of those visual like things will shift and things will like change like perspective a little bit. That is very reminiscent. I don't know if you guys have seen Midsommar, but that movie does have some of the best visuals that kind of show what it's like to be on any kind of hallucinogen or something that really starts kind of messing with your mind.
Yeah.
So it really paid off where I was like at first, like I said, as an 18-year-old watching it, I'm like, it still kind of had the tenets of like a Dare thing where they're like, oh no. It's like a Dare thing produced by people who actually did the drugs, not just,
Right. Well, and it's also one of those things too where about 18, 19, that's when I was really starting to get into reading. I actually was getting into reading like Philip K. Dick and more, I guess, like surreal sci-fi authors and more challenging stuff, I guess. So it was interesting seeing as a 19-year-old this movie tackling these kinds of subjects, and the fact that in 2005 in Bush's America it felt very relevant, and then watching it in 2026 it still feels very relevant.
Yeah, there's always been a war on drugs. Congratulations to drugs, by the way, for winning that.
I mean, they're really doing great,
Drugs have hands, man.
I just feel like that wasn't. It always felt like it played second fiddle to terrorism, international terrorism writ large. Like there was always, I think there was some attempt to like tie those back in the 2000s where they're like drug sales actually directly fund Al Qaeda, and you're like, what?
Right. Well,
they really tried. That now they're trying again, and
they're trying to do it in reverse, where they're like, who else is a terrorist? Drug dealers. I'm like, no, I went to his house. He's fine.
Yeah.
Well, there's a great book out there called "Drug Cartels Do Not Exist."
I've seen this one pop up. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's essentially the thesis is that the CIA owns and controls the drug trade and always has, So it's like, which again makes this movie very relevant.
Yeah, geez, Robbie, you're seeming a little paranoid.
What?
Maybe sit down.
No, I'm
Maybe
fine,
take another pill. See if you're that'll mellow you out a bit.
All right, yeah, no, that'll help me out.
Yeah, get another rhino pill. We're gonna be good. Fine. We're gonna get through this.
So we see as Keanu leaves the seminar after kind of short-circuiting for a second, he takes the scramble suit off, reveals that he's Keanu Reeves, and walks out in a elaborate series of to maintain his anonymity. Walks out. He's back into his undercover persona of Bob Arctor, and he calls up Winona Ryder's character Donna, his alleged girlfriend, and asks her if he can pick up some drugs. And meanwhile, while he's making this phone call and being very cavalier, we see the surveillance state in effect, just how effectively every phone call is being monitored. Every person can be traced. They can pinpoint you using the security cameras of anywhere. And I wrote down, I was like, oh wait, we do have this level of surveillance. Maybe worse.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah, definitely worse.
Definitely worse.
Definitely worse. I mean, they came out in the past few years. I mean, what was the big theory of the 5G and all that stuff? That stuff gets a little crazy, but then they had to come out and say, actually, we are scanning you via your phones and all that stuff. It was like, oh wow, this is awful.
See, now we're entering the realm where every electronic device that we own all has microphones in it anyways.
Yep.
Smart fridges, all that kind of stuff. They all have cameras and microphones and all that anyway. And I always say, I wish they would just go back to lying to me about this stuff.
Yeah.
Like 2005, they were doing this as well, but at least they were lying to you about it. Now it's like they just go, no, we're watching you. Don't worry about it.
Can you actually buy the machine that's going to spy on you from us? Thank you.
Shit, we also just do most of the work itself.
Well, that's what I wrote down. This is the most accurate telling of the future I think I've ever seen, where nothing's really that different other than we all just voluntarily have each other in mass surveillance.
Yes.
We'll just do surveillance on ourselves, on our friends. We'll snitch on anyone. Who cares?
Big Brother isn't the government.
Yeah, we are Big Brother.
Yeah,
I've snitched on you guys multiple times already.
Oh, I know.
They haven't arrested.
Like I said, luckily for me, those jokes do look good on paper. So, anyways, we return back to Freck, who's met up with Barris in a diner. And this is where I think we kind of get introduced to like what a lot of the meat and cheese of this movie is going to be, which is two strung out drug addicts being strung out drug addicts around each other, having conversations that don't seem to go anywhere, but are really weirdly tangentially related. And as insane as they seem, it'll freak you out how often they're kind of right about stuff. So to further like kind of expo dump, Freck. Oh, sorry. Before we get to the diner, the very funny scene of Freck driving to the diner where he sees a cop in the paranoia. He has a daydream that he gets pulled over, but because he's such an idiot, he doesn't even know what his Miranda rights are, so he can't have the cop recite the Miranda.
Fantasy. He can't even have the cop be like.
He's too dumb to picture it going realistically until the end where the cop just goes, "Yeah, you know what? Fuck it," and just blows his head off. And
which
like
is actually
clean
a
off
more
his
accurate
shoulders,
thing,
too.
I think.
And his brain explodes with bugs instead of brains. And this is where I think that like you're like, yep, we're doing this animated so we can throw in a lot of weird surreal shit like this. But yeah, after he meets Barris in the diner, yeah, they're just spieling about this world's drug, this new drug du jour flavor of the generation called Substance D. I don't know. You guys want to
drugs?
D's for drugs.
Yeah.
So
I got nothing on it.
I got nothing. I mean, and it's definitely I think a placeholder for drugs writ large. It's whatever you're on. Then yeah, it's that one. It's
that. It could even be technology. It could be any addiction you might have.
This one's specifically drugs, but
yeah, true.
Yeah.
I mean, specifically in the like, it doesn't matter if you're on meth or heroin or whatever. It's used to be a stand-in, I think, so that way if you are a person who has tried or recovered from heavy drug use, you can ascribe whichever preference you have onto it. But they're having a talk about the finer points of addiction. Freck is now starting to hallucinate aphids all over him. And Barris tells him that what he's experiencing is like he's now beyond the casual stage. He can't say that he's like a casual recreational drug user. He's into the next phase of addiction, which is, like he doesn't know how much more the intense side effects are going to be. And there's no way to test them until it's far too late. Basically only humoring every minor like paranoia you might have about your own health.
Which this is also an interesting part of the movie because I think this comes up a few times in it, but I like the way that addicts treat other addicts in this movie because it's almost a very realistic thing where like even other addicts will like look down on that guy because like, oh,
Yeah.
he's too addicted. Like,
Yeah, and as they
even though they're
type of
all
addict than
fucking
me.
strung out druggies,
They act like a doctor towards the other addict. Like, oh, well, you should really get checked out. Like, what are you talking about? Dude,
We're all
you're in a
high
foil
right
line
now.
house selling drugs.
And meanwhile, they have their suspicions that New Path. So he's far enough in his addiction that there is a program set up by that company New Path to help rehabilitate people. But because they're so secretive and they have so many government contracts, nobody really knows what happens to you once you enter this program. Freck is worried that they're going to cut his dick off, and then Barris is like, no, they take your spleen, I think, or something like that, or your pancreas. I don't know. Like no, that is like everybody knows that. So it's this whole very like paranoid conversation where you can't tell when they're doing shtick versus when they're being deathly serious. And then which leads Barris to say a couple of things I think are pretty pivotal to where this movie is going. It's like I am in awe of the amount of integrity they've brought to evil. This rehabilitation process that's seems very suspicious. Seems like it's just another prison sentence, and they're doing it as if it's for the betterment of humanity. Whereas we also like their pharmaceutical company. This drug is a pill. Like there's nobody connecting the dots. And then the next point about the drug itself, Substance D, he said he makes the point: you're either on it or you haven't tried it yet. There's something so addictive about this substance that once you've tried it, you are now a user of it. There isn't a weekend.
Yeah, there isn't just like recreational usage. It's not just I'm gonna go hang out with my friends and do a couple things and like we're gonna fuck off for the weekend. It's like no, you're just doing it forever now.
Yeah, you're just measuring in how many capsules you do per day. It's not about like getting off of it. There's no.
Well, that's also something I really like is that every time someone's questioned like, well, how many capsules are you doing now? They just go, I don't know. I'm not doing
No
that much.
one knows. No one knows that answer.
They're like, I'm doing a lot, or I'm not doing enough. I don't know. And it's like, oh.
then Freck wants to get more. Now that his addiction has increased, he doesn't realize that he needs to get more, and he's hoping to buy from Donna, the Winona Ryder character we saw earlier. And they start, I mean, just engaging in like motherfuckery. Like they start discussing like their personal life and being that Donna does not have sex with Archer nor anybody, and almost like being like, I'll show you how to have sex with her. You know, it's like it's this very like very skeevy locker room talk where the conversation shifts. Because they're like, well, she's not a D addict. She just likes Coke. And he's like, I can then if she likes Coke, I can get you into her pants for $3. And it's like $3 doesn't get you a lot of Coke. And then they, we're treated to like another montage of I wrote down is like the goddamn junkies are resourceful.
Oh God.
Yeah. So they I guess it's like supposed to be spray on aerosol sunblocker, which is so when this was in the book, it was urban legend that sunblock had cocaine in it, but you couldn't use it, you know. So he uses aerosolized sunblock, sprays it into a plastic bag, and freezes it in an attempt to separate the crystals and show you how to get a gram of Coke for $3, which we don't even see if it works, you know.
Nope. As far as we know, that's in the freezer the whole time.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. You never see him pull it out or anything after that.
Yeah,
but it's funny too because I feel like as little time has gone by, I feel like the movie's almost like halfway done at this point, which is this movie flies by and nothing happens, and it's kind of crazy.
This movie the dialogue moves at a breakneck pace in this movie. The movie itself, nothing is actually happening. It's just junkies talking to junkies. I mean, stuff happens, but most of the movie just feels like the smartest dialogue from the dumbest people you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah. Well, and I kept thinking this when I was watching it. I described it as the movie dialogue, or just the way they talk, everything that's happening. It's like two mirrors staring at each other, in that there's everything that's being said is a lie or a truth, and you don't know which one is which, and then they kind of combine to each other, and then you get into this like infinity space where you don't know who has your best interest in heart and who doesn't, and who's full of shit and who isn't full of shit, and it's just like it really gets you into that sense of paranoia that like, oh, I literally can't trust anything anyone is telling me right now.
The only camaraderie you have is somebody else who also partakes in an illegal illicit substance with you. And then there you go. That's all you're left with is other people who are also willing to break the rules. So they have definitely varying levels of either sociopathy or psychopathy or just straight up antisocial behavior tendencies. Even some of them pretty like, harmless, but I guess as we'll later be introduced to the Woody Harrelson character, but with Barris, it's like saying like just the fact that they're both like staying in Bob Archer's house, trying to synthesize cocaine to attempt to fuck his girlfriend. Like, wow, that's some fucking real piece of shit.
That's some scumbag shit. Yeah,
yeah, that's like next level scumbag shit. So now, Archer in his scramble suit as Fred meets with Hank, his superior officer inside the precinct. They're both wearing scramble suits so as to not have the fact that like even like higher up the ranks you go, everybody's essentially undercover at this point.
They're undercover and seemingly are the very people they're watching too. So it's like,
yeah. I mean, it's he gives them a report. They're essentially assigning him his own house to spy on, which is very funny that I'm like all this bullshit of like the scramble suits where I'm like, by power of deduction alone, as we'll see as the movie goes on, like it's not very hard to pinpoint who the undercover is.
There's 4 people in this house.
One of them's in the office now. Very long for this one.
Yeah. So the scene we see that they start doing cognitive tests on Barb Archer. They're worried that the amount of substance he's taken is already causing a side effect, where there's a split of the hemisphere, going on.
This is what I mean.
He can't. His right brain is like having cross chatter. Like his brain can't decide on what he's perceiving as the reality or not.
Yeah, his left. It's like the left side of the brain is
competing with the
becoming
right
the problem.
side of
The
his
right
brain.
is like overacting to essentially fix that.
Well, and I really like this scene because this is where where it feels like it's two mirrors staring into each other, where they're already questioning his own sanity and his own reality, and you're watching the two agents who are the two doctors or whoever who are administering the test, and they're telling him about this, and they're sitting completely, across from him, left side and right side. So it's almost like they physically represent those two hemispheres of his brain, and you start questioning if those guys are even there or not. To the point where, like, they even do similar movements with each other at the same time.
They repeat their words.
Yes,
They'll
there's
talk
the what's that called? That marketing subconscious. What's that? Subliminal.
Subliminal.
They're being subliminal. Yes.
Subliminal. No, there's other stuff too. Like the thing that really gets you in the end, the one that I came back to. We'll get to it eventually, but at the very end of the conversation, because the whole conversation is him kind of. They never answer why he's even in there, because he's worried it's because of the speech where he went off topic and was kind of in his own head about it. But they never really confirmed that's why he was brought in. And then he has he kind of just has this weird ending with the conversation where he talks about how his girlfriend never wants to have sex with him, stuff like that, and she recommends getting her blue flowers.
Yeah.
So it's
Yes.
like, again, why
Like planting,
it's such a
so to
random
speak, a seed.
suggestion. Yeah.
Well, and then also them, I like all the little stuff to also make him kind of question his reality of where they show him the card that's the bottle, and he says it's a Coke bottle, and she, goes, well, it's a soda bottle.
Yeah.
And when he says, oh, it's a sheep, and she goes, well, no, it's a dog. And
Which is, it's
like
a fun visual thing too. Is like when you see it from his perspective, you do see the sheep, but then whenever they're cut or you're not directly seeing from his perspective, you do see the dog shape. Like it does look just different enough. And they do think they also sync their speech too. They go like, undoubtedly, they
yes.
are very rehearsed. They are very much like playing dumb with him, like thinking that this is just like we're just doctors who are curious about the science, and
they're doing the thing where they're like kind of overly nice, as she is at least, being kind of overly nice. And even the suggestion about getting the flowers, kind of the way he asks that or talks about it, you would immediately think this guy's crazy, because he kind of just blurts out about his girlfriend and wanting to leave and stuff. And so the fact that she responds very calmly and is just like, get her blue flowers, and then the blue flowers are going to become relevant later, is also just so odd.
Well, even the stuff too where like he makes the weird little joke, and she goes, well, if you keep that sense of humor, you're going to be just fine. It's like,
go get him, sport.
yeah, exactly.
So after that, there's a snitch. Jim Barris, the Robert Downey Jr. character, is in the room with the two, both Hank and Fred, and the undercovers in their scramble suits, and he's trying to snitch, and it's very funny that he's trying to snitch on someone who's in the room with him, like knows exactly who he is and watches what he's doing. This guy who's trying to like play this as if he's the smartest guy in the room is like walking into like the biggest, dumbest trap.
Also really rough on Arctur, who is. Again, we're playing the smallest game of Clue with 4 suspects, and 2 of the suspects are in the room, so it's making everything way, way worse for him.
So, Barris is trying to
trying to drop the dime.
Yeah, exactly. And like, but why? It's so strange. It's like, why is he? It's trying to hedge his bets almost.
Well, it makes it seem like he knows that there's probably some shit on him. And he's just trying to get ahead of it and going like, well, if I can drop this guy who I've heard him have weird conversations with this girl, like I can probably just push that all off on them and they'll forget about me. I think that's what his motivation is. Which stupid motivation. It's very drugged out motivation.
Well, it just adds to the constant level of paranoia, because he just had a conversation with a paranoid guy who. You're like, oh, well, this guy's the normal one, and he's the paranoid one, and now he's tipping off police because he's also paranoid. Everyone here is paranoid. That's all rightfully so.
And that's something that's what's so funny about the writing is that like sane and reasonable people are the ones that you should probably not trust in the movie. And then the guys who sound insane and out there actually end up being vindicated and justified in like why they're so insane. And so it's like, you don't know who you can trust.
No, yeah.
And yeah, Barris kind of shows that, like, he's their friend who lives in the house with him. And it seemingly seems like he lives there for free too.
Yeah, both him and the Woody Harrelson character, who I think we might have skipped over the scene where he comes home with a bike.
Right.
That was a great scene. I love that scene.
That is a great scene.
It's so funny. That was one of some of my favorite dialogue in the movie, just because it's so snappy and witty. It feels that felt like a as much a Linklater thing as a Philip K. Dick thing, because it just was about a mundane object. It's about a bike that was obviously stolen.
Stolen, yeah.
For like $50.
Well, the best bit too is when he starts. He comes in. He says it's an 18 gear, and then Woody Harrelson starts counting it, and he goes, "I think that's only a 9 gear." He's like, "Wait, no, I think that's an 8 gear."
It's 8, and then missing one, and he starts lamenting about how they probably took the bike apart, took the extra 9 gears, and are hiding them, and they're gonna resell them the extra gears.
He's actually buying a stolen bike, which he says the guy literally hoisted it over the fence for me.
Yeah. Well, I also like that their whole like solution too. He's like, I'm just gonna go out on the street and I'm just gonna give this to whoever needs a bike.
Oh no, it's to collect the data.
We're gonna go over there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just ask somebody who doesn't have a dog in this fight to be like, how many speeds are on this bike? They're confusing the speeds for gears, or it's like 6 in the front, 3 in the back, where it's like 6 times 3 is dipshits. Like it's just very funny that the brain goes straight to this like I got scammed, or they greeked me.
Paranoid. It's that paranoid conspiracy brain, where it's like, well, these gears are missing. Obviously, this is a bigger plot that like we can't even fathom right now. They took these gears for a reason.
Yeah. Well, he's simultaneously calling them stupid because he's like, they used like probably whatever tools they could find, and like because they have a limited understanding of engineering, removed stuff, and then now they're going to try to charge me for the. It's just this.
It's great.
It's a very annoying conversation to have with somebody.
It's very frustrating.
It's frustrating, but literally everyone buys in is the best part of that conversation. There was no one, even the people in the room that were the adults in the room, in Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder, were very much like, yeah, man, they're missing gears. You're like, wow, that's crazy. And Keanu just doesn't care. He's like, yeah, sure. And Woody Harrelson wants to go run up on some guys to get the gears back.
Hey, man, even $50 for even an 8-gear bike is still a deal.
He offers him a $23.50, I think.
Yeah, $23.
He's like, no, man,
for the missing gears.
So after this, we see Bob coming back. So after Barris's attempted confession, he's also assigned to like start bugging his own house. And as on top of that, they're telling Barris that they're going to send a cop with him to go bug his house too. So it's like getting double bugged while trying to maintain this undercover persona is like starting to become like, oh shit, like he knows his time is running out. But the boys also in the back. This is something I wanted to mention about like the marketing for this movie.
Sure.
Because I did remember seeing TV spots. I'll have to see if I can find them to edit them in. If not, then they're not online. Barris is attempting to make a homemade silencer, which goes off without silencing the gun at all. Which wakes up Bob, who immediately, in bed, shirtless, like slides his hand under his bed and grabs a gun and starts aiming it, while like in a prostrate position. I remember the trailer for these on TV, like any scene that had a gun in it, they like flashed it quickly as if this was going to be like
an action movie.
Yeah, like a high octane anime action movie with like gunplay and stuff like that. Look, we even got the Matrix guy in it.
What does a scanner see? Does it see into me, clearly or darkly?
Utterly hypnotic, deranged, trippy, and extremely funny.
I could be murdered.
4 stars. Rolling Stone calls it a wittily twisted vision. Prepare for a major head trip. A Scanner Darkly. Everything is not going to be okay. Rated R. In theaters July 7th.
You know, it being very funny where they're like, it's going to be heavy sci-fi, but lots of guns. It's like the 3 scenes where a gun is present, you know.
And one of them is just a guy shooting a gun through a toilet paper tube just to try and create a homemade silencer. Which also, hilarious idea to try and create a homemade silencer.
And explain why everyone in this house full of paranoid schizophrenic should own a gun.
Yeah, well, Robert Downey Jr. does my favorite little bit of acting here when he's about to show it off, and he points the gun at Woody Harrelson. And he says and then he points it at
Frick.
He points at Frick, and then he points it at his head. He goes toi, and he like does this. The way he does it is so funny. He like looks up in the air like it's. I don't know. It's a very funny little choice.
It sticks out in me because it's also in the trailer too. And I used to watch trailers like very autistically and just watch them over and over again to get excited for a movie. And I recall exactly what you're talking about. Like both his expression when he says "tra" and then when he like tee hee hee, like he's gonna fire the gun up in the air. Yeah, it's great when he was. He was so good when he was an actor. You know,
dude, Robert Downey Jr. was my favorite thing in this movie. Just he's like a nymph running around, a drug-addled nymph.
Yeah,
he's got the
he is just
outfits.
like an agent of chaos, just like constantly just dropping little fucking things for you to go like, what are you doing here? You are just
the way he moves through a scene, any given scene, like when him and Woody Harrelson are getting in an argument later. Just the way their motions and stuff, it's very weird, and I love it all. I love his acting. Like what you said, Sauce, when he was an actor.
So going forward a little bit more, the boys decided to take a trip down to San Diego, which this is the part that like could have fooled me. I thought that was the 15 or whatever.
I did too. I swore I thought it was a fucking
the 5
805 or something.
They shout out to the animators, man. I mean, they rotoscoped the people and stuff, but they did a lot of work on the scenes too that made it look good. Made it look of the area you're supposed to think it is. Like the coloring and stuff like that, the color grading, it gave that early 2000s California vibe, man.
Yeah, it did. It absolutely did.
and to be clear, so Linklater directed this movie was shot in live action with a digital camera, and those were all directed by Linklater. So he directed the actors, he wrote the script, he co-wrote the script to hone it in. So it was all. There is a version of this movie that exists that is all these scenes that have not been animated, shot on what looks like like home camcorder type material. He then handed all that footage off to the animation studio and said, "I give you complete creative control," which is like I almost say this movie is now like co-directed both by Linklater and this entire animation studio because he just let them do what they wanted in terms of everything. So like you were talking about the color grading, the how much verisimilitude they wanted to put in versus also like the more trippy stuff. Like they decided on the execution of the bugs and the tripping balls and stuff like that.
But this car trip scene, I love this car trip scene because I like just scenes where it's just the boys hanging out. I think it's fun. It is. After all the paranoid conversation, it was nice to take this little break where they seem like, oh, hey, they are kind of enjoying each other's company here.
Yeah, there's this really weird familiar banter where like everybody knows who everybody is, and then it's not challenged until we get to the tow truck. But Arctur's car, his accelerator sticks, and it becomes a very like hectic, like get the car off the road thing. And he notices that his accelerator is plumb just like stuck down. And they crack the hood, and it couldn't just be that his piece of shit fucking car, especially this movie was supposed to take place in 2012, 2013.
Yeah.
He drives a fucking piece of shit 1984.
Yeah.
And it can't be that just this piece of shit car is breaking down. It has to be that there's some plot. Somebody did this to him.
Somebody came in and they loosened the screws and they fucked with the engine.
Yeah, and. They also start having the debate like I told you we should have gone to San Francisco instead of San Diego because the screw would have turned the other way and gotten tighter actually on the way up.
Great paranoid drug thinking. A little great piece of acting is when they're trying to pull over to the side and Robert Downey Jr. throws the timeout to the people behind
Yeah.
him. I think that's very funny.
We are getting over. Time out.
So, and, you know, Bear's like, I could fix this. You know, it's like, if I had my tools, where are the tools? At the house. So now that they're getting towed, I love that the tow truck driver is just listening to these insane people just like all talk to each other in the back seat. And also before they do that, they decide to like, well, fuck it, the day's already shot, might as well drop now. And they, you know, like because Archer knows that Barris is like this really suspect person, that he's already starting to kind of feel paranoid about taking drugs around him. So he hesitates, and I love Woody Harrelson has he tells him, he's like, I think that's what's getting to us, man. We gotta kind of lay off this stuff. And Woody Harrelson yells out from off screen like, hey man, don't blame the drugs. of little pin cameras all over the house, so that if anybody enters, and then they start describing the logistics of like, well, what if they come in through the bathroom window like that Beatles song? And he's like, well, that's the thing. They wouldn't go through the back if they knew that the front was open. How would they know the front was open? I put a sign on the door that says, come on in, it's open.
Well, I also like him going, I don't know if you're fucking with me or you're not.
It's literally what your treatise from earlier, Robbie, where you're like, you don't know who is telling the truth and who's lying, who's full of shit. And they have to sit there and suss it out with this tow truck driver. And Keanu Reeves is just like, I know you're telling the truth. You did this, didn't you? You actually did this. Why did you do this?
Why did you do this?
They go into the house. Like, Barris has a gun. Is it Luckman? But the Woody Harrelson character grabs a bow with no arrow. And they start having like now we're like really in the spiraling part of the.
They see there's a lit joint or a warm joint in the ashtray.
Yeah, but they're also like realizing
someone's
like,
here.
They're too late. Like whoever's doing this is planning a raid on us right now. So now we have to like get rid of. Do we get rid of the drugs? Do we like no? I think if they see us like doing anything, they're going to know that we know that we're under surveillance. It just becomes this very like going in circles. Feels absolutely.
If the
like,
bicycle
maddening.
sequence is my second favorite, this is my favorite because they don't just go in circles. They go out of control. They get to the point where the only way out is to sell the house and advertise it as has drugs in the wall that have been placed.
Yeah, it's Keanu going, okay, yeah, if I just sell the house and we can move over here, and it's like...
And if you advertise that there's drugs in the wall, that'll actually help you sell the house. The right buyer.
We're going kind of out of order, but I don't even necessarily know if like all the information given to you is in order. But Bob does have a flashback to what the house was like before him and his drugged up asshole friends all took over it, and he had this very like clean domestic 2.5 kids life with like a wife, and he hits his head in the kitchen on a cabinet, and he claims that's the moment that kind of shook him out of his distaste for domesticity. Like he just realized that like I'm not even mad at the cabinet, you know, like that's not the cabinet's fault, but just that I think the realization that like nothing exciting, nothing will ever actually happen again in his life, completely bypassing the fact that he has two kids to watch, you know, grow.
Yeah, two daughters who are going to be growing up and like doing things in their life.
He's so
worst
caught up in his
fallout from
own...
a concussion ever. By the way, this is just
horrible
outcome.
Well, it's
just so caught up in his own you know, narcissism that it's like, but nothing's going to happen to me ever again. You know, like I have this very like safe, comfortable life forever now. You know.
Which a lot of the times is that fear of aging. I think that a lot of people, as we get older in our life, you do have those moments. I feel like I know I do, where you go, is anything interesting ever going to happen again? And it's just this weird mental block I think we give ourselves, where because it's like you think back, you know, you go, oh wait, I did that this year, and I hung out with these people, and I met these people, and it's like there is a lot of cool stuff, but I think you get so in your own head about it. Especially if you prided yourself on maybe hanging out when you were younger and partying and meeting a lot of people. I think that that fear sets in as you get older. That's just never going to happen again.
Yeah, these are also like the paranoid insecurities of, and I really wrote this down and go like, I think this is weird where like the dystopia is actually preferable to the world we live in now, because Bob is a burnout druggie, you know, I guess undercover, but his cover job is I guess that he works at an auto shop, but he can still afford a house.
Shit. Oh my God, dude, no joke. when he has the sequence of just walking around the front of the house, and he's like, "This house really could have." Pretty much what you're talking about. I think it was even before the flashback though, where he's just like walking around the junked out front yard, and saying, "This house deserves better than this."
Yeah,
and I'm just like, dude, I wish I owned a house.
It should be confiscated and given to somebody who deserves it.
So there is a thing though where like I feel like the movie makes the insinuation that he is being funded by whoever he's working for, that he may or may not have track of, essentially.
Either way, though, like he's still like a burnout that can afford a house and like let his friends live there. And,
I'm just saying, because everything is so linked with the whoever's investigating this company, who they're also kind of working for. I think there's a lot of money being traded hands, and I think that's what Barris is kind of talking about when he goes in there and tries to snitch on Arthur, is that he realizes that he shouldn't have the amount of money he has, I think, is his point.
I think his brain will rationalize whatever suspicions he might have as a result of his paranoia. But so I mean, going back, this is back into the plot. They're still in the midst of fixing the car, and then Freck shows up. Who they've all, I see, have come to terms with the fact that he's just constantly going to be like this bugged out. He's way further.
He's
down.
Bugged out, yeah.
But then they decide to start fucking with him. Like they're having this banter where like they see. I think it's all shtick, that Barris and Luckman are trying to kill each other over.
I think they're just fucking around. Yeah,
they're mostly fucking with Freck. Yeah, or like that they're gonna like perform, grab a weapon. Or it's basically just the means.
He has the hammer and he's like hammering the rock. Oh my god.
Yeah, but it's a funny scene because they don't like that Freck is this like annoying junkie, but they're like, he's only like one or two steps ahead of where you all will be,
right? And that's what I find so funny about this story, is that like, again, the attitude that everyone treats the addicts with, and it's like, here's these guys who are just as addicted, just as fucked up, and just about to be where he is, and they still take their chance to just look down on him at any chance they could get.
This particular scene, I had to have a weird moment actually while I was watching it, because my wife works with like policy and stuff like that, and has worked a lot with homelessness and things like that. Just people that are junkies and whatnot, and addiction and things like that. And I think she definitely sympathized for Frick.
Definitely.
And I remember in that sequence, she just was she looked at it, she's like, why are they being so mean to him? And I was just like, they're just the boys, honestly. They're just the boys are being boys, feels like. But it was like not a good excuse. It was just, they're mean. They're just being very mean, and I can't.
They saw weakness and they decided to pick on it.
Yeah, it's just sometimes this happens with guys.
They don't respect him anymore because he's not a cool drug user. He's an addict.
Yeah, he's
now a drug user.
I can't explain it. It's illogical.
Yeah, I mean the banter just continues on. I mean those scenes we get with them. But now another part of Bob's job is he has to go into the office in his scramble suit and watch his own house being bugged. like watch through
the most paranoid.
They had that paranoid conversation, but like realizing the house was already bugged, like in their absence, But he also now starts like openly like taking the substance D, which are these little red capsules with a skull on it.
At work,
and something I like, because I think it's an example of the movie trusting the audience, is the fact that like the scramble suits, like you see the visual representation, but like you don't know, like they're able to like smoke and drink and take pills like through it. Like they're wearing like what's ostensibly like a hazmat suit, but like they can still like pass things through it. And I think that like the audience is like, yeah, we get it. Like it's, but like whatever it is, it's made to be so
it's
that
just technology.
To keep on. Yeah, you don't really question like the whole like, well, he puts on this bag over his head and it conceals him completely. How does he breach it? And who cares? Looks cool.
Who cares? Yeah. It's sci-fi shit. Don't question it.
And then we see this very like kind of horrifying scene of Luckman and Barris hanging out, and Luckman starts choking on his TV dinner, and Barris does nothing but sit and watch him almost die from this.
True psychopath moment. Really
fucked me up, man.
Like homicidal, fucking like, and it's so fucked up because he also like he waits until it's too late to call the ambulance, and when Lookman pulls through, he's still kind of rationalizing between like the why didn't you help me? He's like, oh, what do you mean? I was calling the ambulance. They're on their way as you were choking. He just immediately jumps into this like deflection. He's like, you can't even get your TV dinner down your throat, and this is like now becomes like a moral failing on my part, which I don't know if you like absolute like psychopath narcissist arguing deflection. Like holy shit, I've seen that play out in real life, and it's done so well by Barris in this scene.
Well, yeah, just him trying to justify like, but no, I was being calm and rational. Like I didn't know anything was happening to you. It's like, oh, he was dying.
Sorry, I just got a notification of this thing of how ICE uses everyone's phones to like, it doesn't matter if you're hiding, if their phone is around you, they can use it as a reason to get in. Okay, wow, that's as if we're talking about this movie. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this movie is actually somewhat like hopeful compared to where we're at right now. So no, I mean I think this scene is just a treat for everybody in the whole movie, and that is Freck, after being, like realizing that his friends don't even want to be around him anymore, has decided to commit suicide.
Oh boy.
The suicide attempt is maybe my favorite scene of the entire movie. I love it so much. There's nothing I love more than a dumb guy trying to be smart and like high-minded.
So Frick turns on the radio, and we're treated to put on a radio broadcast describing what he's doing in this moment. And Robbie, you got some fun info about this one too, right? You want to go ahead and take it?
Well, so I found the behind the scenes featurette, and they have a whole interview with Philip K. Dick, or a little bit of an interview with Philip K. Dick in there, and they have a part in there where they actually have the radio broadcast where he was reading this part of the book on a radio broadcast, and when you hear him side by side, it almost sounds exactly the same. I don't think they actually used his voice, but whoever recorded it absolutely was using that radio broadcast within it, which is really interesting. But they changed it a little bit, whereas in the movie they say that he has the copy of The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand as like almost a condemnation of the government, which I don't quite understand how. But like, and then in the radio broadcast in the book, it says that he has the Fountainhead because he saw himself as a Superman type character, Ubermensch, so to speak.
Freck?
Yeah, Freck.
Freck the Ubermensch.
Yeah.
Classic.
Which I think is insanely funny. and even when Philip K. Dick reads that part, he kind of has like a little giggle to it. It's very funny.
So he decides that he wants to be classy, so he puts on the suit, like Robbie said, the Fountainhead being an ultimate like dumb guy. I was deep all along. This is the tragedy. And then he did not so much a suicide note, but a strongly worded letter to Exxon protesting the cancellation of his debit card or something, or his credit card. Yeah,
his credit card. Yeah,
his gas card.
Yeah. So as if to be like to give his life one like that was his sacrificial moment.
That was his fight that he stood up for.
Wow. And then drinking the expensive wine in his suit with sneakers on, he's realizes that he was not given.
I like in that scene too. He goes, wait, shit, I need that wine. Like I need a wine for it. And so
I'm not going to drink.
Interrupts his own suicide thing to go drive and buy a bottle of wine.
A 2001 Merlot.
Yeah.
$80.
$80. That's a lot.
He realizes that the drugs that he bought were not painkillers, but actually hallucinogens, which causes him to see a dimension shifting, a mix of St. Peter as well as the what is that, the scale in the afterlife where you're measured against. And he's like, your sins are to be read to you ceaselessly for all eternity. And he pulls out a never-ending scroll that says every sin, which goes down, I mean, just everything, just the most banal, like, punched your baby sister, willfully took someone's lunchbox, like just every...
Yeah, when you learn to jerk off.
Yeah. It was, after 1,000 years, he gets to the 6th grade when he discovered masturbation.
The fact that he knows what he's there for. When the alien shows up, it's like, oh, you're here to read my sins, huh? For the rest of the time.
And it just shows that the anxiety and the just kind of how he truly feels about himself. I think also that's like the reality of the situation. He wants to see himself as this, like, with the Ayn Rand book and all that, he's the intellectual like guy, but in reality, he sees himself as a piece of shit who's done nothing but fuck up over and over again.
Yeah, and I'm like, hey, at least I got a nice bottle of wine out of it. So after it's just the whole scene is just kudos. Like, there you go. That might be the most fun reason to do this movie.
Absolutely.
Before it gets unfun. Now, jump scare. Alex Jones shows up in this movie.
Before he was compromised, as far as I know.
Yeah, he's playing a version of himself, and Linklater, being an Austin, Texas guy, he knows, he's aware, he knows Ball that Jones is this sort of like just local
kind of guy.
Then the international scale he became, but yeah, he's literally protesting, kind of saying that, like, the ones who are arresting us are the ones who are creating the drug, and again, much this movie just shows us, like, oh, okay, no, it's like not even like subtle at this point. It's just the real world is.
They literally have masked guys come up in a van,
an unmarked van, masked officers with riot gear, just tase him and just take him away. And Keanu sees that and is just immediately like, well, yep, that's just another part of life. And immediately moves on when Donna picks him up.
And again,
it was nice seeing Alex Jones get tased and put into a van, but
but again, a more optimistic view.
I didn't like.
A more optimistic view of the future than even now, because now the masked men in unmarked vans will just shoot you. So
like, they at least have the decency to disappear you in this fictional 2012.
Yeah, they'll just send you somewhere. But that's what's so funny about this movie. It's like, again, the fact that this is a 2005 movie from a book written in the 70s and it still feels so relevant is so sad.
Yeah, 2006, but yeah. I believe it was filmed in 2004 because it took them a long time to animate all of this.
Sure.
Yeah. So Donna picks him up and invites him back to her place, which he's finally like, oh, okay, cool. The end of our intimacy woes, which is something he's brought it up to the psychiatrist. He's brought it up to, it's been brought up when he's not in the room, the conversation that him and his girlfriend don't even have sex. It's she's more interested in being on drugs than hooking up. Which, I mean, I think this scene is great when they, as bad as everything is, I wrote down, damn, maybe getting pussy could make life worth it. But yeah, she pitches to him like stuff like take me to a concert, take me out on a date, go over to my house, and he's seeing this as this very like oh, she's finally ready to be like that much closer to me. And while they're smoking weed, drinking tequila, doing substance D, he asks, he's very like he asks if he can be affectionate with her, like, put his arm around her, and she flips out and this line, like, really, like, it's one of those that didn't hit me until I met way more people, where I'm like, that makes sense, where she's like, look, I just, like, I have to be really careful because I do a lot of coke, like, it's, I think she's just very aware of that, like, doing cocaine with men leads to, like, very
bad
compromising stuff. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that was one of the realest lines in the movie. It felt like, oh, that really brings you back to earth, it feels like. Amongst all this paranoia, that's a real like drug user concern, man.
Yeah, and if you watch her throughout the whole movie too, it's like she's not completely cold and cut off from everybody, but she has to be the one who initiates all physical affection. It cannot be initiated.
She definitely keeps her distance.
Well, they show it in the house when she gets on the couch with Keanu. Keanu has the position where he sits down, she sits down, but instead of him putting his arm around her, she lifts his arm and puts it around her. So
right. Yeah.
She always has like that kind of autonomy within.
There's a part affection. Too where Woody Harrelson like touches her hair, and she does like don't touch me.
Not only that, in the bike scene too, he trips and falls on top of her, and she's like,
that's right,
absolutely like throws him off. Like even like everyone you can assume is like some version of high, but like nobody's tweaking out. But any of that like just sends her into this very like danger zone. And so it causes Bob Barker to be like, fuck it, like the juice is no longer worth the squeeze. She's also not leading him up to anybody as far as his cover is concerned to like, find anybody to get the substance D from. and they're never gonna have sex. So he leaves, and then she tries to stop him. And I mean, another one too, where it's like the wake up call is coming for everybody. He's like, you're a drug addict, and she's like, who isn't? You know what I mean? Like, what's at this certain point? What's the difference? And he does ask her how much do you do? Like, which anybody who's doing drugs recreationally does not like that question, because it forces them to confront it in real time.
The fact that anyone had to ask you that shows that like you're probably doing too much.
Precisely, which is very upsetting. But no, so he goes and just finds another substance D drug addict, and he has quite a stash, so I believe he's paying her in drugs.
Which, again, I think that's also a part, talking about how they make the insinuation that, like, he has more money than I think he realizes because they're paying him. I think they're also supplying him with the drugs.
Right. Or whatever he's stockpiling from buying is like, it's whatever, you know?
Right.
So they have, him and this prostitute, they have sex. And when he turns over to her in the middle of the night, when he wakes up, he sees her turn into Donna, which causes him to start really snapping. And then the next day, going in to review the footage, which I also wrote down, like, realistic hookup style sex. You know, he watches it fast forward.
No kidding, yeah.
But it does seem like they go through the motions of having like about what I would assume is a 10-minute session.
It was just what he needed. He just needed to get his rock off, you know, just like
So in this like surveillance room where everybody else is like little like techno cubicle, open floor plan. You know, they're all watching footage. Like he has to review the footage to see if he's cracking or not when he is. But he just starts popping more and more substance D. I wrote down, like, everybody in this office is really good at minding their damn business.
No kidding.
He's watching a video of this. They don't even know that that's him in the suit. So he's watching a video of people fuck. Drugs. He's pulling up a 3D model of the girl and playing it over and over again to see if it like changes again. You know, and when it, like, because either she is this shapeshifter. There's a theory that she's wearing a scramble suit, but also like that kind of doesn't make sense. But I think he's now seeing in real time how his brain will take in information and manipulate it to fill in the blanks. You know, the cross chatter as it's called.
Which also kind of goes back to his cognitive tests where he was they're showing him the pictures on the cards and stuff like that. Yeah. Now you're seeing it more in a physical realm where it's like he can't even make heads or tails of reality.
Much like you kind of don't even notice it in the office, the frequency at which he's increasing his doses and stuff like that. I think that is a commentary on addiction, how it does really just sneak up on you. It just starts incrementally becoming more and more.
Yeah.
And more that you're even kind of blissfully unaware. So when you start experiencing side effects, you're like, that's
that's not good.
And then I think I think my favorite scene in the movie, because it really does just like sum it up, you know, is him going home and giving his monologue. Like Hunter brought it up earlier that he brought up like what a waste of a perfectly good house. And
great monologue. I love that.
Yeah, we get the title of, because the surveillance people are called scanners. The machines and everything, they're all just called scanners. And he brings up like the thesis of the movie is like, what does the scanner see? Does it, you know, he realizes spying on himself even, you know, like what version of a person are you getting? That like, this is how we're all able to pass all these judgments, is that they're like, do they see into the soul? Are they giving you good faith? It's that, do they see clearly or dark?
Gets to me on this scene specifically is when he's like being like, I like, he's having a hard time even understanding what they're telling him. And he kind of makes the point, like, I'm a victim in this situation. And they just go, no one forced a gun to your head. No one told you to take this, even though it was a part of his job. And they're just there's just such a callousness to it of just like, you made all the decisions here. Like, you deserve, almost saying you deserve where you're at.
Yeah, you could have faked it. Why'd you have to seriously take the drugs to, you know, follow your? And he really just loses track. Like, was he always a cop? Was he always a druggie? Was he always like he's so lost in what identity?
It kind of places him like, are you just like another Barris? Because a guy who wants to be on the inside but isn't.
Yeah.
And you kind of find out he wasn't. He was only partially on the inside. He was half and half.
And I mean, like, yeah, he's fucked. They get Donna on the phone to come and get him because he's gonna have to go to the New Path rehab. There's no getting out of it now. Like they got what they wanted. Allegedly, this is what he's led to believe.
What we're told, yeah.
Yeah, and Donna is like she picks him up. She's being very apologetic about like helping him and trying to get him. Essentially, she checks him into the rehab where he pops, like he starts puking. You know.
Well, you find out from that scene though,
yes.
They didn't actually call Donna. Donna was Hank. The whole time.
So and then it's revealed, which will like really kind of like make you go bonkers, that like all those scenes were Bob and Donna together, you know, reporting to each other, and Donna being the only one who knew who everyone's identity actually was. You know, she tells him as Hank, you know, like it was not very hard to deduce that you're Bob Arctor. So now that we have it in the office, you know,
and again, talk about paranoid, man. It's like the two people in the relationship who are spying on themselves essentially.
And each other.
Like, you're right. This will make you go insane.
Yeah. No, I was just saying, Robbie, before we recorded a while back, when you were just talking about Philip K. Dick, you mentioned like, yeah, he was in his most paranoid drug using phase, but he was right. They were watching him. This was he was paranoid with reason.
Yes, and that's what I always get from this movie, or just the story in general. It's like, yes, he was in the midst of a horrible addiction, but also I think the feds were very much keeping an eye on him. I mean, there's always been stories of the feds keeping an eye on people they consider, you know, subversives or whatever, and sci-fi authors were always kind of lumped into that realm. And Philip K. Dick did always write very subversive, philosophical kind of things. So, also, if I may go off on a little thing here, because I was watching the behind the scenes feature thing, and then I learned that Timothy Leary is Winona Ryder's godfather, which sent me down a whole other rabbit hole, because Timothy Leary, if you don't know, was basically the main proponent of LSD in the 70s. He was a psychologist at Harvard who really talked up the benefits of LSD, really got it out into popular culture. He was arrested an insane amount of times. One of the times he was let out by the Weather Underground. Richard Nixon called him one of the most dangerous people in the world. And so and then Philip K. Dick and Timothy Leary were both really good friends with each other. Philip K. Dick had lived with Timothy Leary for a moment in time. So it's like all that shit to get Winona Ryder for this movie is even more another layer on top of this.
Well, I mean, I feel like everyone is included because they have they have a known comfort with drugs, you know. Woody Harrelson, Keanu Reeves are notorious stoners, and then Robert Downey Jr. This is him, one of his part of his comeback once he finally got clean. Yeah, and like having to start with like these smaller films to kind of reapprove himself, you know, before the Marvel ruination. Sorry, I feel like this movie is made very intentionally with like a lot of people who like get what it is and what it's about.
Yes,
and
I
think
agree.
It shows and it helps. A lot of it. Now that so he's the nurses, where do they orderlies, whatever they're called in the rehabilitation center, they're immediately mocking him for short circuiting and being like violently ill, like overdosing on the substance D. They call him another loser, and I really like this line that Donna gives where she says it's easy to win. And I like that because it makes you like think about just even the sentence structure. If it's easy to win, like losing, like he's losing right now, is the hardest thing to have to go through. You know.
Sure.
Yeah, winning's easy. It's easy to sit up there on your high horse while someone's
right.
Like,
I think it also
going out the window.
I think it also goes into again the attitude that's presented by addicts on other addicts, or even just people who aren't addicts. The way we look at addicts is this thing of like, well, at least I'm not that guy. Mm-hmm. At least I'm better off than that person, you know? And that's kind of how everybody looks at everybody. They can't really come down and look at them from an empathetic level. It's just like, well, hey, I may be fucked up, but at least I'm not that guy, you know?
Not a loser, yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me very sad. We see now what the New Path rehabilitation program is, and we also see that Frex, you know, his suicide didn't take, but he's there bald.
Nope.
Just reciting like pointless platitudes that don't even really make
just
sense.
mantras.
Strange mantras though, like about kind of esoteric.
Yeah, the living should not serve
external
the dead,
to yourself stuff.
but if possible, the dead should serve the living if it's a good thing. Like it's just and
which you could argue that's the addicts should be able to serve the functioning members of society is almost what it's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, yeah,
and yeah, it's all a bunch of like hoopla, but we also, and this is where I think like Keanu really did not get the credit, like just how different his performances were as Bob Arctor, or whenever he's Fred in the suit, even as distorted as that is. This though is where he plays somebody I think very effectively who is his brain's been wiped. He's got he does the solid snake speech where he just repeats what the last thing someone says after him is. He's clean cut and harmless, perfectly harmless at this point, but he's like just such a former shell of himself.
He's Bruce and he likes air.
Yeah. Yeah. Lots of air out. He said he tries to tell the undercover orderly is like, well, I worked in an office before. I'd like to be in an office again. They go, well, you're going to actually be working outside. So they get him transferred to New Path's farmland, this unsurveilled farmland, where he just he continues he's very oblivious. The only desire he has is he's like I want to see my friends again. He's got this almost very childlike way, and they're like, yeah, maybe at Thanksgiving. It's like they don't even necessarily know he's not going to see Luckman or Donna or Barris or Freck or anybody, but he's got this promise that by Thanksgiving he'll see his quote unquote friends again.
And it's this, and then this is where they cut to Winona and the
Donna,
agent, right?
Yeah, who's got Audrey is her now what we believe her real name. I like this idea that all these characters have several names. That it's almost
several names. They're all just all watching themselves and others.
Yeah, this is kind of like the wrap up monologue where you kind of get the last exposition dump about how everyone's cops.
yeah, and even the cops set up one of their own. They as much as they told him we didn't make you take the drug, they absolutely did. The only way he's so undercover that he has to not even be aware that he's undercover is they had to fry his brain to send him in as undercover for this new path. The real plot all along was to get this cop so addicted to drugs that and use all the subliminal messaging from the doctors and everyone else who's in on it, and Donna to get him to bring back some form of evidence.
Again, you don't know how who's compromised in what, because it's are they working for another agency? Because it seems like the agency they already work for is maybe compromised already, and so it's
acting. Well, yeah, because they're working for New Path, and they were, because he was doing that speech for New Path, but they're we know New Path is actually the one doing the drugs. We can't let on to New Path that we know, so we have to subterfuge to the subterfuge.
Yeah,
we have to send in somebody
who's just
paranoia
all the way down,
whose brain is so limited that they trust him enough to let him into this operation where there is no surveillance. Anything that tips them off, they'd be incredibly paranoid about. And Arctor is his job is he sprays pesticide on cornfields, but just beneath the corn is that blue flower that is used to synthesize the drug. And he's not putting it together. He just knows that for some reason it's been repeated to him subliminally that flowers, blue flowers, friends, Thanksgiving. He with what little faculties he has left. And they take the time to ridicule him one more time because he also has the split in his brain. He doesn't always see the flowers, so it's
well, that's my favorite line of the movie actually, is when he stands up and he goes, he's like, oh, but when I stand up, the flowers aren't there. And she goes, no, you just can't see them. Mm-hmm. And I just think that's such a great little line. It can mean, it's very literal, but it can also sum up the entire movie.
Yeah.
And so I think that's such a great line.
I saw death rising from the earth, he's and he sticks the flower. He's like, a flower for my friends, give my friends a flower, Thanksgiving. And
he puts it in his boot.
Yeah. The fact that sacrifice requires someone to willfully do it for it to really have this purpose, but they are sacrificing somebody who's oblivious. it's and also in the trailer, like to sacrifice someone without them ever knowing it, like that's it adds this level of tragedy that she can't reckon with. Whereas her
you
partner's
see
like,
Donna,
generations will thank us for what he did. I'm like, yeah,
and
but
you
it's
see
so easy
Donna
to volunteer
basically
him.
saying like he's a good man. He has no idea like what is happening, and we are taking advantage of him.
Yeah.
So it's like her having to almost to reckon with that, and it's tragic. It's like truly tragic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like and it doesn't even tell you that like what the fallout is. You just have to hope that like you're like, well, he does have the evidence now. He says in just a couple months for Thanksgiving, they're gonna see them. He's gonna see his friends, which means he'll be able to pass it on. So it's like his life is not
But
in
does that
vain.
even help him? Like, how will that even help? You never know. Like, yeah, he could be.
Does that
fried for
materially
life.
change anything? Even it's like, will that?
Right.
Again, we don't even know who they're working for. As far as it's like they seem to work for New Path, but they also work
Watchmen
for...
stole the same ending too of the like the message will get passed on, and like you're left to infer that this will cause an upset.
Yeah.
But also the fact that like at what cost, like even if he is ultimately a hero, like and he even gets broken out of this prison labor style situation that he's in now, like he won't ever be cognizant again. Like the person is gone.
He's just a totally different person at this point. It doesn't matter.
And we end the movie on and I think this ending is what got the movie made for as low as it costs, because so at the time, I should say, so Philip K. Dick the movie ends with a quote from him, which is like, this is dedicated to everybody who I know. Like these were real people. Like their only sin was playing. Let them play again. Like they were just trying to have a good time. Let them have a good time again. And he proceeds to list, actual people he knows and their fates, and the amount of them who are either permanent psychosis or are just deceased or are like have had their life and liberty taken away from them.
There is one name in there that actually stood out to me, and I looked it up, and because he writes Phil permanent pancreatic damage.
Yeah,
I think that's him.
That is him. Yeah,
that's him talking about himself.
Right. Yeah. So it's I think because he sees himself as included amongst their casualties. And when Linklater was trying to get this made, keep in mind at the time the Philip K. Dick estate, these movies, I believe Paycheck was also a Philip K. Dick. I'm not quite sure. But
I can't remember.
Yeah, let's just say so. Like we have Blade Runner, we have Total
Minority
Recall,
Report.
Minority Report, like which came out just before this too. It's like the Dick estate, like they charge a lot because they're like it's so recognizable as a certain type of sci-fi that will guarantee seats or whatever. But nobody was clamoring to Scanner Darkly isn't sexy. There is no action that you can really like. I mean, I guess you could have based on those trailers, but like you can't really insert action while it maintains its identity. And he kept saying like, well, let me just keep sending you the script until you see one that you approve of. And that was his final stroke, was including in as if like, it was Philip K. Dick himself being like, this is who this is for. This is what this is about. This is something that's probably my most like personal story and not just like this sci-fi concept or short story that he's written.
And Philip K. Dick's daughters were actually on the set when they were filming the movie. They actually came and visited and met with everyone and hung out. So it's like I think they really trusted Richard Linklater to do.
Yeah, so I mean they gave it to him
justice.
at like no cost at all. The actors did it for scale because they were so confident in this being this like. And it is of all the Philip K. Dick adaptations, this one is the most like a Philip K. Dick, the source material that it's based on.
Absolutely,
it captures it in tone, and as well as like plot beats are like 90% there.
Because Blade Runner is one of my favorite movies. I love Blade Runner. And I remember I read Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, and it's so completely different. Like you couldn't even like it's an entirely different book from the movie. And I like both of them a lot, but it's just you're right. It's A Scanner Darkly is the most Philip K. Dick novel or movie that they base on. The story is the most Philip K. Dick.
That was like I think that's the premise that sold them on, is that they would actually be ensuring the legacy, not just using it cynically,
making a cheap action movie. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
And you could have like the way this story plays out, this could have easily been like another like kind of police noir drama thing, which kind of
Definitely.
is to some degree, but it wouldn't have, like, they could have toned down the paranoia, toned up the more.
They could have
police
taken
side of
away a
things.
lot of the philosophical discussion.
Yeah.
They could have ripped off a Tarantino and put in a Mexican standoff, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
They could have had an ending that doesn't really say anything about fucking anything at all, and they're like, well, yep, just another case. Tens of thousands more like it. Oh, guess we'll never know.
And they close the book and it says the end.
Yeah.
And then question mark?
This is, I mean, if you're lazy, being like a cynical artist or film industry person is like, that's gotta rock. You just make all this.
Oh, it's got to be the best job of all
just
time.
no
we could
fucking
have
effort
gotten a
whatsoever.
Scanner Darkly 2049.
Oh my!
Missed out on that.
Oh, don't even get me started. Oh, Blade Runner 2049. Oh,
No, don't. We'll save that for when we.
yeah, I'll chill on it.
That'll be bonus content for
Yeah, yeah.
Psychos for later. Yeah. I mean, I this movie very like special to me. Like, it's, by the way, go watch it, but like, fucking what a downer. Like, just don't be expect to be in a good mood, and then don't do what I did and watch it twice over the course of 1 week because
crazy work. When you said you're going to watch it again, I'm like, dude, do we need to send a wellness check? You're going to be in trouble.
Well, I didn't mean to watch it the first time. I just put it on to test its quality, and I got locked in immediately. So I had to take notes, which I don't know how much.
Watch it like I did, and just keep taking hits off your vape pen.
Oh my,
and
yeah,
just,
truly
like,
punishing as an adult who is high while watching it. You're like, oh man, no.
If you do want to watch Scanner Darkly, it's free on YouTube. You can actually find it on there.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
So there you go. Hunter watched his first movie without commercials.
No, there are ads. It was on YouTube.
Oh, you don't have YouTube
You
Premium?
you think I have YouTube Premium? You fool! You moron! What do you think this is?
I should have known.
This is how liberty dies.
Even talking about this movie, I'm just like, it fucked me up in a way that, like I said, a movie hasn't fucked me up like this in a while. And I don't know. This movie always stuck with me, even if it's never been a movie I would call one of my favorite movies or anything like that.
Right.
Every time I've ever watched it, I leave with something. And and that's tough to do with any piece of art. So to be able to leave a genre sci-fi novel and leave really feeling things and going, oh, the relevancy is still here, even 40, 50 plus years after the book came out. Like that's baffling.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I do understand how I haven't revisited it since it came out.
Yeah,
Frankly, after
definitely.
watching it.
Yeah, I haven't thought about it in a while. I think this is Robbie. Is this your pick?
Yeah, this is my pick.
Oh yeah, dude. I respect that.
Again, this movie.
Thanks for bringing
like
it back.
Like I said, when we went to that Comic-Con panel and I saw the Philip K. Dick Android, I went, I have to seek this movie out. Like, it really was me going, like, I have to watch this movie. And it always stuck with me. So it's like, which is more than I can say than 90% of the movies I've ever watched, so.
Yeah.
I recommend watching it. If you're in an okay position in your brain, I say, or even a bad one, I say just watch it.
Oh yeah, this is 100% recommended. Like, you, especially now, like what we're saying, circles and roundabouts. We're back at it again, where the language they use in this movie is so reminiscent of what we're hearing on the media literally right now as we start yet another forever war.
Oh, you mean narco terrorists?
Great.
Yes.
Yeah, narco-terrorism and stuff like that. Like, it just, come on, man.
I know it's a downer of a movie, but I think it's an important movie.
Prescient indeed.
But that was the podcast, I think. Unless you guys have anything else to add.
No, I think I can leave this one there. It's a strong recommendation.
Yeah, strong recommendation. Great movie.
Cool.
Love Linklater. One of my favorite directors. Glad we got to do it.
And again, if you like this podcast, subscribe. We're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube.
We should mention our next movie too. Did we decide that it's going to be Jarhead?
Yeah,
I'm down. I'm down. If we want to go a hard movie again, I say let's fucking do it. It's just Paranoid January, man.
Yeah, Paranoid January.
That's where we're in. We did Eyes Wide Shut. We did Scanner Darkly. We're doing Jarhead. We're full paranoid.
Yeah. Hey, it's our first war movie to celebrate the start of 2026 and forever wars again. Time to jump in early.
We single-handedly brought the 2000s back.
We really did. We screwed up, man.
I mean, the times did too. So hopefully, like I said, this can only be used to our advantage. It's what they call brand synergy.
Yeah, if we can figure out a way to get this podcast out there and everyone paying us a lot of money, I think it'll be worth it to go to war with Venezuela.
Yeah. So if you want to be prepared for the coming wars and how this next decade's going to go, just start listening. Get all your friends to listen here, because we'll be telling you how it goes based on movies from the first time around, or the third or fourth time around, whatever time around it was in 2001.
But yeah, that was Turn Off the Century, so you know what I'm going to tell you. Turn off the goddamn podcast.
Turn off your brain,
But what if the podcast is listening to me?
Turn off, tune in, and drop out. You know what I mean? That's drugs. Bye.